Hi everyone, this is Shweta from Neo, and today I have a very interesting story to share with you all. A story of hope, a story that proves that no matter what era it is, if we approach humans with humility and honesty, they reciprocate and humanity prevails. A story that shows the kind of heights that can be achieved when people come together and collaborate, and a story of how Neo is becoming a brand, not because it has some multi-billion dollars of investments. We are still a small team, bootstrapped, but because we have the support of the community. Before moving forward, a little disclaimer, since I'll be wrapping up 1 year's journey, it'll take a little while, about 30, 40 minutes. But I promise that it would be totally worth your time. Full of suspense, full of thrill, definitely better than what we are getting in Bollywood these days. Plus, this is 100% true story based with real characters, real heroes who have extended a very selfless, helping hand to provide that surface for Neo to evolve to whatever place it has reached today. So without any further ado, let's start. So it was back in 2023 when AI was just catching the buzz and ChatGPT 4 was released. I was sitting with my friends and we were discussing what are going to be the domains which are going to be impacted the most because of this technology. And education was a no-brainer. Not just in long term, definitely yes, because education impacts every other domain. But in short term as well, especially in a country like India, where teacher to student ratio is so high and our students are depriving of personal attention for a very, very long time now. So this was definitely going to be a game changer. So AI was going to be game changer. And the immediate thing where we saw that it can add value was exam prep, like learning in general, but by exam prep because the problem in exams when we are preparing for any exam is time is less and we have a lot of things to cover or revise, right? And this problem is specifically very significant in exams like SSC or UPSC because of the vastness of syllabus. And that's why we launched the first personalized exam prep app for the SSC and UPSC segment. And very soon, like in fact, parallelly, we launched it for NEET also, NEET brains, same logic. Our syllabus is large, like vast, and the stakes are high. But we also thought of doing one experiment for the, a school segment. Not really because the syllabus is vast, but because these school students are still developing those kind of life skills, like, time management, prioritization. They still lack the understanding that planning can save so much time and effort, like proper planning and a support in the sense that what they should be learning in next 1 hour or in next 2 hours to maximize their outcome. Support that would give them a little direction with their preparation was something that we thought could be of value. So we launched these three apps around the same time in January, and we saw decent traction in Gyani and NeedBrains. But the kind of traction that we saw for Beam, that was off the charts. And we started with just 50 odd students. And within just a matter of 2 months, like right from January end to March end, we saw that that number 50 had shooted up to more than 2,000. And the app was rated 4.8 on Play Store with a lot of amazing reviews. And all this without any marketing, without any promotion, just by word of mouth. And not just the students, even teachers were loving the app. And they came back to us with the feedback that they saw the improvement in the students are loving it, brilliant interface. So teachers were loving it, students were loving it. But most importantly, it was working. When we looked at the data, we could clearly see the pattern that the students who did more than 25 sessions were doing better than others. You could clearly see that progress, improvement in their performance. Of course, big thanks to the students who actually helped us in the developing phase of Beam with their insights and sharing the challenges, which we paid attention to while building that first version. But seeing this traction was a time when we decided to focus on K-12 and decided to dive deeper in this segment. And when we dived deeper, we actually found that the problem ran deeper than we thought. It was not just about not able to prioritize or lack of life skills. We saw some really stark starts, and I actually didn't know, like, although I come from learning background, but I was not paying that much attention to the K-12 segment. My experience has been more in corporate and college students. But here we saw that amidst the school students, more than 13,000 students had committed suicide in 2023. About 51% of the students suffering from symptoms like anxiety, social withdrawal, dysphoria, 14% with depression, ADHD, eating disorders, a lot of them suffering from clinical depression. And a lot of this is attributed to increasing academic pressure. We 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 are not saying it. It's the research, like the Wire, Deccan Herald, Indian Express, the Diplomat. But then we come to think of it, is the academic pressure increasing? Like, I think it's only becoming easier. The level of academics, the grading system, right? Then, then what? Why, so much of pressure and instability amidst the student community? And not just this, we were seeing other patterns also, like the average attendance is dropping across nation. The students don't take school seriously. Teachers are finding hard to grab attention in the school, right? And when we did our research, we spoke to a lot of experts, we spoke to behavioral psychologists. We understood that this shift in pattern has especially become significant after digitization. So our hypothesis is that initially there was just a school and a student, and that was it. There was just it was a two-body system. But after the advent of digitization, there are a lot of alternative learning sources. Even if we don't impose it on a student, they themselves get curious and then they go on YouTube, they learn something, or they are learning from even Instagram or Facebook. And then there are a plethora of other apps, Byju's, an academy, and whatnot. But nothing is like in sync with what they are studying at a school. Even the tuitions or coachings that they go, they're also most of the times, it's not in sync with the school. Ideally, what how coaching and tuition should work is, so whatever has been taught at a school, first we find the learning gaps, that okay, because of lack of personal attention, a teacher obviously can't go back and clear the basic concepts of every student if there is a learning gap from before, right? And that is what should be taken care of at the coaching or tuition classes, wherever he's going. But what happens is, the student goes to school, same thing is taught, and then he goes to coaching or tuition, again the same thing is taught, or some other chapter is going on. There is no synergy. And these different learning forces in different directions is just pulling the student apart, creating a lot of instability. And this is why we realized that having teachers in the loop was very, very important. But now the problem was, how do we get to them? It was really hard to get to teachers in the school hours. Teachers are busy. Even the management has 100 things to look for. And we actually tried also. I personally tried going to schools. Some gave some time, they spoke, but then again they were like, right now the teachers are busy. Maybe we'll take it up later. So then I called one acquaintance, and this was actually the start of community. Like this is the point from where a new community journey starts. So I called my acquaintance KK sir, who happens to be a PGT at APS Agra, an amazing person, very tech savvy, very knowledgeable. And he gave the suggestion that, Shweta, what you're doing is great. I believe in that. It is going to be a big, thing in this system if implemented well. But teachers are still not very aware. So first we need to create some awareness about what you're doing and why you're doing. And he didn't just suggest that. He also gave me a platform. So he invited me. He also happens to be a GG Agra circle leader. I got to know only after I called him. And he provided me this platform, and also brought in Dr. Vishal Varia and Seema ma'am from GG Ahmedabad and GG Nashik. And they both were also amazing, very sweet people. This was my actually first event, and I was a little nervous about it. So we did a couple of dry runs wherein they gave a lot of suggestions. And then finally we did this first event, and it was a great experience. We had more than 500 registrations, and it was a hit. People loved it, whoever came in for that first event. It's still there on YouTube, those who want to check it out. And soon after this event, there enters our next hero, Smita ma'am from Varanasi. And she just reached out to me, and she was very kind. And she said, Shweta, what you're doing is great. I loved your session. And I would love you to do a similar session for GG Varanasi also. And I was at, the top of the world. It was just beginning, and these are small things where actually I remember what kind of dopamine rush they used to give. So then Smita ma'am and I connected. We planned the whole event. She is also brilliant. Like, it shows from her profile, like she has won awards like IT Guru, and she is a great trainer. And then the way she conducted the event, right from managing the registrations and feedback form and certificates, and how she moderated. There is so much to learn from her. I always used to tell her, "I'm doing the event was you." It was like a breeze. Like, I didn't have to do anything, and she guided me as well. And I just had to go and speak. And all the operations were taken care of her very, very nicely. So thank you, Smita ma'am. Thank you very much for providing me that platform. And we did this event on generating questions with AI. And these events were not just proving a platform for me to create awareness amongst the educator community, but also a platform for me to understand them better. So we used to get registrations in the order of 500, 600. This one we got more than 750. And in the registration form, I used to put little survey questions also. And the insights that I was getting from those surveys, what are the top pain points in general? And then I found out that, okay, question generation is one big pain point. Then within question generation, what is challenging? Then again, I found I could deep dive, okay, time consuming or questions are repetitive, they're not mapped to the concepts. So these are the insights which actually help in shaping the product the way it is today. So while the shaping of the product was happening, then entered Tejal ma'am from Valsad, a beautiful beach city from Gujarat. And she is Canvassador, a Google educator, and also a very sweet friend of mine. We have spoken multiple times. We have hanged out on Google Meets. So Tejal ma'am also brought in Neha ma'am along with her, which later translated into I can't like I can't be enough thankful to her. Like not just in terms of you'll see how the story unfolds as I'll mention her again and again going further. But one thing that I have learned about her is apart from all the professional titles that okay she's assessment head and expert in mathematics and as a CBSE resource person, she is a true leader. Like, she carries that vibe wherever she goes. She is a motivator. Like she has motivated me so many times. At the same time, she is an honest critique. If she feels that okay this is not right, she won't sugarcoat it or something. She'll tell you right on its face. And that is how people should be. And they always say that keep your critics closer than your friends, and she is like a critic come friend. Serves both the purpose. And my experience with her has been really amazing. So thank you Neha ma'am for being the way you are. And thank you Tejal ma'am for reaching out and then bringing Neha ma'am also along with you. So the next event that I did was with Neha ma'am and Tejal ma'am, which was on boosting class engagement with AI. So we started with formative assessments. Then we spoke about how we can generate questions because we figured that question generation was becoming a challenge for teachers. And then another pain point was boosting engagement. So how AI can be used, to create a little vibe in the class. So these initial three events, and then one followed by a specific school event for DPS. So DPS Varanasi, Nagpur, Nashik, and Hinchawari. And this was enabled by Smita ma'am. She did tell me that if we should do this maybe after the summer break because it was the last day of May, 30 or 31st March, and all the teachers just wanted to go for summer break. But then I insisted, ma'am, we have we will have 2 months of then close time, and we need some insights to work on. So it would be really helpful if we could do this event now, even if very few teachers turn up. And if then they could provide us, some direction on, what we should be building, how we should be building, how we can help them better, that would be really great. And few teachers did turn up. We had about 30-35 folks who took participant from, most of them were from DPS Varanasi, but we had a few joining in from other schools also. And after they attended the event, I used to kind of call them and ask them feedback while they were enjoying their summer break. But some of them were generous enough to give me some good feedback, and that's how the new assistant started taking shape. And in just about a month, we did our first event in April, and April to May, our community had already crossed the milestone of 1,000, and it was a big milestone actually. And during that summer break, and now that teachers were also kind of in a little relaxed mode, I thought that it was a very good time not to expand the community but to nurture the folks who have joined us. These people had come to us to learn something, and then we started thinking that how we can provide the learning in a more structured way so they can actually implement it on ground. So then I was kind of thinking that what can be done, how it can be planned out. um, I wanted to do something like really meaningful, which was kind of aspirational also, and I needed help for that. And it seemed like nature was already paving its way. All the help that I needed was already at my door. I didn't even have to reach out to a lot of people. And I'm so grateful to all these people who extended this help without even asking. Like Shelly ma'am from Adani Vidya Mandir, Gujarat, she texted that, okay, what you're doing is really great. And I can help you with research, data collection, handling academic transformation. Then a lot of people gave me connects, like Srishti ma'am, she connected me with an IB educator and leader. Nisha ma'am connected me with Hitesh. Then Deepa ma'am offered that she could take events on our behalf. And then there was a lot of warmth in the educator community who were attending our events also. So she's important saying that, okay, there is not even a single update of the meeting from our side. Please do something as soon as possible. We love to hear from you. So this was the pull that I was also getting from the community while I was planning all of this. So we did these 3 events, and then we were in a little planning phase that how we can, make these sessions more valuable and more implementable for teachers. And they didn't forget us, the educators, the teacher community. They were waiting and they were constantly checking in also that, okay, what's up, when are you going to come back with next event? And that was something that kept me going, right? And this is how we actually started the monsoon marathon journey. And then I got, this kind of response. I still remember that, wait is over. I filled the form as soon as you put it out. So it has been a great experience. I know I'm being like a little repetitive. Great experience, great experience, but I just can't help. It's too overwhelming. So yeah, then we started the session, and the first set of folks who stepped forward was Shaili ma'am, Rambai ma'am from Rivari, Haryana, my hometown, and she also, she's a very sweet person. I love her smile. It is not, she's not flaunting it in this picture, but you could see it if you watch the video of the session. That is also on YouTube, and she also helped me later with more connections. Kruti ma'am, she brought in a very nice angle of how those students who are especially able or who are not able to, catch up in the regular academics, how they can benefit from personalization. A very sensitive and but very, very important angle to consider. Amy, ma'am, like we also connected multiple times after this session, and she was also helping us with putting together the concept hierarchy and the whole structure for IB board. I know, Amy, ma'am, if you're watching this, that we kind of have not connected on it recently. We are due on that. I'm sorry on my behalf. I've been kind of a little hung up with few other tasks, but we will connect again very soon. And Tushar sir, who also contributed to the CBSE resources, especially for the AI subject. And he shared his experience that how they were using AI tools like GPT and Gemini for creating the CBSE resources and what kind of challenges they face, which also helped me kind of reinforce my learning and then share it with the teachers community in general. And Deepa ma'am, of course, so sweet. Like she was the one who was the first one to offer on her own that I would love to take sessions on your behalf. So this was the first set of folks, and they were doing all of that, in the summer break. Sanchita ma'am from Sanskriti, Jayanti ma'am from DPS Qatar. There is a timing issue, and I used to have my stand-up meeting at 7, so I would always insist like little earlier, and it used to make it a little hectic for her. Like she would have to just come back from school and then immediately get on call with me. Sometimes she would be like, I've just read, I'll just freshen up while I'm on call. And she herself used to propose that, okay, I have some feedback from previous session, and she used to take pointers of those feedback and share with me on one-on-one call, which she used to propose. And we had multiple sessions like this. So thank you, Jayanti ma'am, for all of that. And she also texted me recently when she was in India. Hey, hi, I'm here. Just an update. We couldn't meet. It's hard to meet. Like people are in their own life track, but this updating each other, keeping posted, creates little warmth, and I think that's very important. It kind for the happiness index, and if you are in a happy state, then you are likely to be more productive. KK sir, he was very proud to see the progress in last few months, and then he came in also for the second event. Deepika ma'am from Ghaziabad, Deepak sir from Satara. He is a great academician and made some very great points in the second session. And Meena ma'am, like mini ma'am from Palakkad. She is like she is the one currently who is in regular touch with me, even if I forget keeping posted. So I started this 90-day series, and then due to some work overload, I couldn't keep up. Like my phone got hacked in between, and I lost, all the apps and all. So then she pinged me, I was watching this daily series and it's not coming. So you give me update one on one on WhatsApp. So Thanks, Mini Ma'am, for those regular check-ins. Means a lot. And then we did the third session on effective assessment. Nachma ma'am from Gitanjali School, Hyderabad. Then again, Sangeeta Gulati ma'am, very refined, sophisticated person. I loved this session. I mean, this I think is one of the most favorite session of the monsoon series, one of the most favorite sessions. Like I love all of them, but yeah, this one, the points that Sangeeta ma'am made, what Naman sir made on gamification, Neha ma'am made on the assessment rubric, and Deepa and Amy again. So it was a great session and so much learning for me as well. And we were halfway through, and it was almost like a learning carnival, like so strong vibe. Well, and like there was so much commotion in the expert community, and I used to get regular dose of encouragement, motivation, or be like a little pat on the back, which kept me going. It used to get very hectic because we were doing it almost every weekend. So one whole week of research and dry run, and then execution, registration form, dispatching certificates, and there was other work also that I'm doing, like around the product building and stuff, coordinating with the engineering team. And I wouldn't get any break. Like Saturday, Sunday would go in this event, and then Monday again, new sprint starts, and we have to decide the theme for new event, and we have to decide we have to start floating the registrations 1 week prior. But this was what actually kept me going: the encouragement from the community, from this expert panel. These words from Neha ma'am, they like struck me so hard. I still remember how I felt. Like it gave me goosebumps when I read this. The monsoon sessions are acting as a rage, and then she brought in Sudeep ma'am, she brought in Namprita ma'am for the other sessions. So it was like a piece of cake. People came, and then they brought in more, and then they brought in more, and like that, the community was growing on its own. And I just had to keep doing my work, keep researching, and keep seeking feedback and keep incorporating it. That's all I had to do. And a bit of operations to manage all of this execution, but great help and support from the community. And then Chitra ma'am, she did a great session on behavioral traits, importance of behavioral traits in holistic development. So effective reporting, there are different aspects of a child that comes that are part of education, not just academics, but their behavioral skills, their core cognitive skills. So this session was that, and Mayank sir and Chitra ma'am explained very beautifully that how behavior is not just one of the part, but one of the most important part, right? Namprita ma'am, Srishti ma'am, Ritika ma'am again from Mumbai, a special mention. Like we also connected on call, and I remember just before the session, she was in hospital for her dad, and even then, she just because she committed that she would be available, she didn't back out. She made herself available. She took the feedback from the Ryden also. She synced with me, and she made it. She played her part very beautifully. And Maheshwari ma'am from Chennai. So this was the first session, I think, where we also had folks from Chennai joining in, Chitra ma'am and Maheshwari ma'am. So this was on effective reporting. And our next session was on data-driven remediation. Again, Shally ma'am came back in, Vandana ma'am from Bangalore, Sudeep ma'am, recommended by Neha ma'am, and then Sudipta ma'am, Uma ma'am. But what happened during this session? No, I got a bit under the weather, so I had a sore throat. It was very hard to talk. I had fever running, but forms were already floated. There were a large number of registrations. I had already invited one special guest, Sriram, a very good old friend, and global learning lead at Cape Gemini. There was so much of excitement, and people were looking forward to it. And I was not at my best. So I reached out to a couple of experts, and like they they didn't show any resistance, or they didn't show like they're doing it out as a favor. It was very easy. Like Shelly ma'am was like, anytime it's like, I'm there, don't worry, we will handle it. But since Shelly ma'am was already on the panel, then I had reached out to Neha ma'am also, and that's why this session was led by Neha ma'am. And trust me, even I wouldn't have been able to drive it, even if I was at my best, the way she did. Like so much energy and amazing session. Like again, one of my favorite. I think it's very difficult to pick one favorite, but whenever I think of certain moments from certain sessions, it just takes me back and creates those like nice uh, fireworks in my brain. So yeah, it was a great event, and also it brought in the angle of parent, which was brought in very beautifully by Shriram, and which is when we booted our parent community also. We just booted it. It was a small, but we did some surveys. They helped us getting some more insights from the parent perspective. We did a series of interviews also. It's on our YouTube. There is a separate parent series. This helped us in building the holistic report that that we have developed right now, wherein there is a section for parents also. Like, parents do want to support their child, but it's just that they do not have enough visibility. The education system is not that transparent enough, so they know that how they can support. And that is what we are trying to do differently in the reports that we generate, so we can give clear actionable items for parents also. And then, yes, so after these five sensational events, it definitely deserved a grand finale. And that was um, a big day, actually, a kind of acknowledgement to all the experts that who made this happen. And Rambai ma'am here, like, she connected me with VP Yadav sir, who is a very humble and knowledgeable person. He himself has been working on holistic progress card, and he shared a lot of insights around NEP and how the implementation is planned in phases, and how different states are collaborating, and crafting a plan on how NEP would be implemented in the coming few months. So, and even today we are connected, and he keeps sharing like what the government is thinking in what direction. And thank you, Rambai ma'am, for giving this great connect, and thank you, VP Yadav sir, for joining us and being with us on this journey. And while this monsoon marathon was happening, there were a lot of nice things that were happening parallelly. So, for example, the teacher community had already started implementing some of these learnings using the Neo Assistant, which was still in the forming phase, but usable, functional. And we were rolling out features gradually. And this Veena ma'am from DPS Risali, one city in Bhilai, she and a lot of other folks were asking for CS and IT subjects, AI and IT subjects. Our focus was initially more on maths and science, and then on demand, then we rolled out that. And she didn't miss to acknowledge that. And these little drops of appreciation and acknowledgement are things which then drive you further. And then the new assistant was also rolled out at this Shanti Niketan school, chain of schools in Bihar. And then we were getting feedback from the teachers who started using this. One is one of my favorites, so I have put my few favorites here. All of them are favorites. Like how this app, if it was there during the COVID time, it would have reduced 50% of the teachers burden. And this is from Altaf. I think he was using it from Dubai. That mobile gadgets are not allowed, but it is really good. Can we use it on desktop? And while we were, working with our teacher community and our expert panel, we also made sure that we are connected with the student community also, because ultimately they are going to, use the product, and we are working to enhance their learning. The teachers are working to enhance their learning, so we cannot miss them. And while there was a good traction during the exam time, January and February, it was a big question that would there be an intrinsic motivation to learn during the summer breaks or when exam pressure is not there. And to validate this, and to kind of break out of this exam hypothesis, we tried a contest, a summer slam contest for students during the summer break. And there are a few schools who helped us get to the students, one being the KH group of the schools, thanks to Srishti ma'am and the staff there, who gave me the platform to reach out to their students and introduce this contest to them. And then there was also this KPS school. Big thank you to Mayank sir and the staff there, Nisha ma'am, Sandeep sir. And we saw amazing traction throughout the summers. I mean, the average session time of the students was more than an hour. So those who were participating, they were hooked to this like a social media app, except that it was not some random stupid content. It was educational content. It was enhancing their learning. They attempted so many questions. They learned so many concepts, and not just academics, but also it kind of helped in boosting their cognitive skills, their behavior traits. It gave them some insights on what are their professional inclinations. And then there was a few little rewards for the winners. These are from my own schools, MGM. although we have not rolled out a pilot there because of it's like too much of paperwork and all. It's not that the school doesn't move very fast, but yeah, the students are smart here. And we did AI workshops. One of the schools that we did it for was Adani Vidya Mandir. Again, Shali ma'am was the one who suggested it. And then we did open workshops also on this AI, wherein we get some very good response from Navrachna School of Vadodara. So a few students who attended the workshop and then who did some assignment. Two assignments that stood out was like Dhruti and Divyansh, and both of them happened to be from Navrachna. And not just AI, we also created other student communities around design dash, around overall building some leadership skills, how they can be ambassadors or champions of something what they believe in. So all of that was happening. And then we finally started when we felt look like, okay, now we are in a good place and we have shaped the Neo Assistant and the student app in such a way that it can start working like an ecosystem. Then we opened pilot registrations, and the first school to ask and implement for it was Shantiniketan. Soon after that, we did it for KH Memorial and KPS Durg as well. And very recently, we also did it at APS Shankar Vihar. This school is the one where I personally went. It was my hearty wish to meet Neha ma'am, Sukhdeep ma'am, Namrita ma'am in person. And it was a lovely day. Uh, they are an amazing host. And the vibe that I felt in this school was so much different from the vibe that I had at any other schools that I had been earlier. Like it was like a startup culture, everything was like moving so fast. The teachers are so open, and they understand that okay, this is a new thing that we are working on and it's still in a building phase. It will have some issues, that's okay. They are not like okay, in that complaining mode, okay, this is not there, and getting angry. They are like, we understand and these are the issues, we will honestly and critically tell you what are the issues, and we will also help you with it. So all these teachers, you can see these beautiful ladies here, no? Neha ma'am, Namrita ma'am, Sukhdeep ma'am, they are mathematics experts. And maths is like little difficult to crack with LLMs or the AI at its current state. We have worked on it. So instead of using the basic LLM libraries, we have used specific mathematical libraries. We have built our own rendering engine so that mathematical symbols, they reflect properly, formatting is decent. But still, there is a scope for improvement. And even in terms of the quality of questions also. So these folks, they themselves shared some amazing resources, which we have now fed into Neo Assistant. And now the quality has improved a lot. I can see a major shift, and all credit to all these teachers that you can see here. I'll just zoom out. Neha ma'am, and then we have Namrita ma'am, and we have Sukhdeep ma'am. So a big thank you to this school, APS Shankar Vihar, and these ladies here in this picture. And we also have this beautiful little girl flaunting the Neo app. I'm just talking too much about this because I think I'm a little emotional on this one. It was a nice, it was a very nice experience, and my mom also joined for this meeting. So yeah, and yes, after that, we did another leap on the community side. So all this community thing was happening. Monsoon marathon was happening. Student sessions, student workshops, and then we were onboarding schools. We were running pilots. So we were not able to, by choice, we were not expanding the community. But then Amit sir reached out and he said that he would love that we could do a session for GG Delhi West, and he also brought in Nidhi ma'am and Neena ma'am. And this session was like, the registrations are off the charts. I had not seen so many registrations in my time so far, in my journey so far. More than 1,200 registrations, so many views. It's been about a week since we did the session, and I'm still getting so many new folks joining in the community, the Neo community, because they are watching the recorded session on YouTube, and then they are liking it, and then in the description there is a joining link of the community. So it's like a automated channel now. So there is some nice content on YouTube. Educators are watching it, and they are liking it, and they are just joining it. So without any effort, now the community has started growing also on its own, and I'm really glad about that. So we did that session, and community is on autopilot mode, and now we are focusing a bit more on the pilots where we are doing. So we are doing at KPS Durg is one of the schools we're doing pilot, and Mayank sir had proposed, let's do one session with parents also, because they are the ones who are most concerned And one of the concern is like, should they hand digital device to their students? And it would be best if you could address these concerns firsthand and understand their perspective also. So that was a great suggestion. And we did this parent interaction activity just this last Saturday. Today we are on Tuesday, just a couple of days back. And it was great to see the branding collaterals, like the first school to go all out with branding for Neo. And the interactions with parents were also amazing. I just play one very small clip of 1 minute here.
कृष्णा पब्लिक स्कूल में
If you
मेरा
can.
बेटा 9th क्लास में है, तो मुझे अभी नियो एआई के बारे में पता चला है। इसके बारे में मुझे जानकारी दी गई है। ये कृष्णा पब्लिक स्कूल का एक बहुत बेहतरीन इनिशिएटिव है, और ये इनिशिएटिव टुवर्ड्स इट्स अ वेरी गुड लर्निंग प्लेटफॉर्म एंड इट गिव्स अपॉर्चुनिटी फॉर किड फॉर अ स्टूडेंट टू फाइंड आउट देयर एक्चुअल स्ट्रेंथ एंड देयर वीकनेस एंड देयर अपॉर्चुनिटी एरिया एंड इन फ्यूचर ये आपको अपने करियर पाथ को चूज़ करने के लिए बहुत अच्छा जरिया बनता है। तो मुझे ये लगता है कि ये बहुत ही ज़्यादा इनिशिएटिव बहुत ही ज़्यादा यूजफुल है फॉर स्टूडेंट। तो आगे जाकर के जो अपना करियर पाथ चूज़ करेंगे तो उसके लिए उन्हें किसी तरीके का कोई कंफ्यूजन नहीं रहेगा। तो ये एक तरह से बहुत अच्छा है प्लेटफॉर्म है, और आई विश KPS अ वेरी गुड लक।
Thank you. So a very sweet father here, and I think initially I thought in Durg is a tier 2 or tier 3 town, a very small city, and my understanding was that parents might not be aware enough, or मतलब generally parents की tendency होती है कि ठीक है हमने फीस पे कर दी स्कूल में और अब it's their responsibility, but it's not like that. They are very passionate, and they want to, like I said, in the our initial surveys also it came out, but survey में they were mostly teachers of metros, so Delhi, Mumbai वगैरह के ज़्यादा मतलब parents थे. But यहाँ पे even in a small town like Durg, I could see the same passion in the parents, which was really nice. So this, I think finally, how much time I took, I'll just see. It's been about I can't see the time here, but okay, we are just wrapping up. So this was the journey so far, and what next in the terms? Yes, we are working on the features. We are constantly adding new kind of resources to our assistant, and we are collaborating with the teachers like Neha ma'am and others to refine it further. But right now, we feel that half yearly is around the corner, and for that, we are specifically launching one feature of automatic scheduler. So wherein you can define that, okay, from so much syllabus, you can automate the worksheets for students. So they'll automatically get some practice worksheets, which will help the student as well as the teachers to identify that what specific areas are need attention from that curriculum, and then they can work on it or maybe do some remedial classes right before the exam. So yes, while the teachers can use the Neo assistant to send practice worksheets on their own, for the schools who want to jump the queue and want this auto scheduler feature so that the worksheets are automatically scheduled for all their students for the defined curriculum, they can DM me. And while all of this will happen and this will keep happening, it's an ongoing journey. I think we should not forget, and we should not, kind of break our learning journey. And which is why we thought that after Monsoon Marathon, there is this next festival that we want to organize is around NEP 2020. And like I think we have heard a lot about NEP 2020, but many have not actually gone into the depth of how much they have thought. It's a very very dense and very well thought out reform, and the more I read it, the more I appreciate it. And there is so much to understand and learn from what. And obviously these days the government is like there are very educated, well educated people at that position, and they are doing some great work. And I want to take all this great work to our educated community. So this is the overall plan or calendar for this event, starting with 7th September, in which we will discuss the whole historical context of Indian education policy, what was said by Britishers, and why there were a couple of reforms which we try to introduce in between, but why they failed, and what is different about NEP and how it can be implemented, and what kind of change or what kind of impact we can expect out of it, not just on students, but also on teachers and parents. So that's going to be our next event on the upcoming Saturday, followed up by more events which are specifically focused on certain aspect of NEP. like early childhood care and education, then your holistic and multidisciplinary education, assessment reforms, role of technology. So I invite you all to be a part of this festival. The registration link is, I will provide it in the description of the YouTube video where I'll be posting this recording. And yes, let's keep the learning ongoing and let's keep sharing the knowledge. Do help us spread the word so more educators can benefit and we can implement NEP and other best practices using with the power of AI and Neo. Thank you very much. And thank you, community, for being with me, for being with us. And I look forward to ongoing support. And I will make sure that all your support is like, you will feel proud the kind of impact that you would be making in helping us reach out to more educators, more students. One day when you will look back and when you will feel that what kind of journey you have been a part of, I promise you will be very, very proud. Thank you. Thank you so much.